evening and welcome to tonight's Vox number 5, the 5th episode of our e-speaker program. And this evening we are honoured to welcome 2 amazing guests, but for Vox number 5, the first one is going to be an alumnus by the name of Naomi Tansey. Naomi Tansey is an absolute legend. She's one of the greatest human beings that we've ever known. And not only was she a sensational musician and she played with all of our bands, our saxophone, our big band, and she played guitar and every single saxophone. She also was an outstanding scientist and, has gone on to a world-leading career. And I think she's currently with Dyson as one of their chief vibration engineers. So physics and music are playing a massive part. So we're truly honoured to have Naomi here with us today. I think she's dialing in from the Cotswolds with a glass of gin and tonic. So everybody sit back and relax. Just a quick reminder to not speak during the interview, please. But if you've got questions, send them through, as many as you want to, because Stuart will be curating them and we'll be throwing them into Naomi in the chat as we go along. At past, we'll skip over to the next room where we'll have a nice session with the wonderful Mr. Rob Spalton. So Naomi, good evening.
Hello, nice to see you.
And you too. It feels like an absolute age since we've caught up. How are you?
I know. Yeah, really good. How are you guys? You're growing and taking over the country. It's great seeing all the different hubs.
We're doing pretty well. Yeah. We've had some lovely news today. And in fact, it is our communication manager's birthday today. So before we get started, I'm just going to say a quick happy birthday to Anna Robotham. We think you're a fabulous person and we wish you a wonderful day. And if you're watching this, we don't know why. You should be out there having a glass of wine. Right, so Naomi, if you don't mind, if you want to give us a bit of a bio of who you are and your journey to how you got there, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, great. So yeah, as you said, John, I played in lots of different bands started with Emmy Joan, then merged into Hot House. So play saxophone and guitar. And so I started in the band probably when I was in about year 8, year 9 at school. And then did work experience with John in year 10, which was an absolutely great experience. Ooh. That was a stonking week. Yeah. And then I was always kind of keen on music performance and on science at school. So I kind of wanted to find a way to be able to sort of do both. So for my A-levels, I did sciences, maths and music at AS level. And then I was trying to figure out a way I could combine it all together. So naturally took to Google and just tried to find out what was out there. And I was quite keen on sort of physics and music, maybe doing a joint degree, like you can do some down in London or up in Edinburgh that look really cool. But I decided to kind of go down the engineering route for me because I thought it might be a bit more, have more of an application to the real world. So I didn't actually start out doing acoustics. I did mechanical engineering, so a lot broader. But then within that degree, I really enjoyed the acoustics side and looking at sound and vibration. So that's when I decided to study a master's in acoustics. So, and then I actually worked at Arup for about 3 years, and then now we've been at Dyson for 9 months. So I've hopped about, but it's been all really good fun.
Amazing. So you were actually working at Arup, because last week we had on Callum.
Yeah, I know.
And because he's with Arup, and it's amazing that all these acousticians and physicists, they all end up there. Really great company, just as Dyson is.
Yeah, really great.
Tell us a little bit about your university choice, because I think you went to Durham first, and then you did your master's in Manchester or something like that. Salford. But you did a lot of music whilst you were there.
Yeah, so I did a 4-year course at Durham, which was an MEng in, they call it general engineering, but it's effectively mechanical engineering. So I was there for 4 years and played in lots of music groups there because Durham is collegiate, a bit like Oxford and Cambridge. So you've got lots of different levels of music groups you can play in. So I bought a banjo at the end of 2nd year. So I know. Shocked
Now
face
with
of
the
John.
crowd cry.
I know. So like played in a Cayley band at Grey College, which is the college I was at, and set up a ukulele band that called Ukulele. That was really fun. Um, Played in the university big band, so that was a higher level of music. So naturally, you have people studying music, but loads of scientists and art students as well.
And what did you actually do when you went to Manchester? Was that a different course? Was that Salford, did you say?
Yeah, that was Salford University. So they do undergraduate courses as well, but I did an MSc, so that took 1 year, and it's a postgraduate degree in acoustics. So quite specialised. So you get to have quite a tailored final year project. Well, the only year project, and use all their labs and equipment, and just tap into the links they have with industry because it's such a small world.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, for
Yeah.
that project, I mean, I should imagine it was quite exciting. What were you doing for that project?
I was looking at reverberation perception. So um, when you're designing a concert hall or a music practice room, reverberation is really important. So that's how long the sound will last within a space. So and I was looking at how we perceive that, and just finding more about how we understand reverberation and how we perceive sound.
So that was a little bit, or quite a lot about the physics, but also
Yeah.
the perception side. Is that slightly different? Is that different to everybody who listens to it?
Yeah, so perception's a massive aspect, and that's really kind of acoustics. It's how we perceive things, and in terms of sound, and then vibration, how we feel things, perhaps through our hands or from touching surfaces.
Wow, because a lot of musicians are super interested in, you know, the sound of things, whether it's the sound of things
Yeah,
in recording studios or anechoic chambers, or, you know, in fact, one of our non-executives, he used to work for Dolby, and so they
hmm
work very much on binaural and, you know, the
yeah,
positioning of sound, Dolby Atmos. And,
yeah.
you know, when you're doing your project, what were you actually testing? Were you in, you know, concert halls, or were you in train stations? How were you, you know, putting it all to the test?
So I actually created it all on my computer. So I used Logic Pro on my Mac, and kind of artificially created how different size rooms would sound, and get people to listen to those, and then I can play the sounds at different orders, different reverberation times, and just see how someone's perception of how reverberant the space is, so reverberance changes.
I think that's amazing because, you know, a lot of our kids today who are, you know, still 10, year 11, they're getting into using Logic, you know, and all
Yeah,
these tools because they're using it for recording. But actually, this might be a thing that they're going to use in their real world situations if they go into, you know, headphone design or
yeah, exactly.
being able
So
to use these different platforms is a good thing, isn't it?
yeah, being able to adapt and use lots of different softwares like Max MSP as well, doing kind of visual programming. So I do quite a bit of coding. Um, Lots of different languages you can use for that, or um, interesting looking at virtual reality and embedding sound in there. Um, so there's so much you can do in terms of modeling and simulation for acoustics.
I think that's really exciting, you know, because for me, music's in lots of different spheres and lots of different job roles and, you know, lots of different futures. All
Mhm.
the skills seem to be, you know, you can use them in different areas. And I think that kids need to get their heads around this now too, so that they've got a portfolio of talents that they can use. How did you
Yeah.
end up at Dyson? Well, what do you do at Dyson, first of all? And then, you know, how did you get there? And is it a good company?
Yeah, it's really good. So I am in the personal care team. So we work on products like the hair dryer, the Supersonic, and
Okay.
the Air Wrap. Um, and they've just released some straighteners as well. So Dyson sort of splits up into groups. So I've got my personal care team. So yeah, my official title is noise and vibration engineer, which sounds slightly dry, but it's, it's basically looking at how the sources of sound,
Yeah.
and then how they propagate in a product, and then how we perceive that through our ears or by touch if we're looking at vibration.
Wow.
So,
And how did you get there? Because I'm assuming you were working at Arup and, you know, you saw a different angle. What made you go for Dyson?
yeah, so I absolutely loved Arup, and kind of all the projects were on a much larger scale. The thing that I quite fancied doing was slightly more detailed design work and working on a smaller product that you could physically touch and hold and prototype. So, and it's really fast paced. So you can be coming up with designs, and then a few days later be testing it, and you're just constantly trying to find better solutions to problems.
Wow. And
So
is it traditional where you apply for a job, or is it done through HR, you know, in the sense of recruitment? How do people find jobs in, you know, in this kind of industry?
yeah, so I found that grad jobs as a whole are probably advertised slightly better, because you tend to have schemes or a training aspect to it. My hop Arup to Dyson was I've attended quite a lot of acoustics conferences, so I know quite a lot of people in the field. So general networking can help get you anywhere really. And the job went live on the Dyson website, but I knew the person who had put out that advert, and they made contact with me. So it seemed like a great opportunity to do something completely different.
So the networking part of it, as if there's
Yeah.
such a thing as acoustic conferences as well. I mean, that's
I know, right?
just
They
blown
literally
my
are.
mind. It's like everybody standing in a different part of the room going,
Yeah,
wow.
clapping, just yeah.
But you know, the idea of networking as being a
Yeah.
really valuable tool. I mean, I'm assuming that, you know, you had some positive experiences with music, and that given you some skills once you were, you know, with regards to the networking.
Yeah, definitely. Like with music, you have to be confident when you're performing. You get to meet lots of different people, so it helps build up your kind of communication skills with others. And yeah, your confidence, because it can be nerve-wracking when you're trying to when you walk into a room full of people that you don't even know. You know, where do you start? But just having that confidence and drive, just go for it. Really
I
helps.
think that's so cool. And you know, I've known you a long time now, and you've always been just the most naturally confident, exuberant. You know, it doesn't seem to me that today you've got any barriers. You know, you seem to just say, I'm going to go and do that, and I'm going to go in that room, and I don't fear a single thing. I don't know whether that's, you know, your makeup or whether your personality or what it is, but you know, you do take challenges straight on, don't you? And that's quite
Yeah.
crucial for, you know, having a career that you enjoy, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's sort of
no, come on.
yes. Sorry, yeah, having a bit of a career hop is obviously a bit of a risk and a challenge, but I think when it's something you enjoy and you can see all these opportunities you can get out of it, I think just go for it.
That's very cool. And you know, before we talk about maybe some favourite highlights of your career so far, where do you see yourself going with this career? Obviously, you're a genius when it comes to science and physics, and you've moved around. The career hops is exciting. Where do you see yourself in the next few years?
I think Dyson for the next sort of foreseeable. I think there are lots of opportunities for me to improve my knowledge of the products and work on lots of new exciting things that are obviously yet to be released or top secret.
I
I
like
know.
that. Top secret.
Uh, so it's exciting getting to work on new technology that people will be able to buy or see on TV, whatever,
Yeah,
um,
very cool.
and make it better. So
And
yeah.
am I right in thinking that Dyson is based in Singapore now as well, or is that something that I've misheard?
So the global headquarters are Singapore, but Malmesbury, where I'm based, is kind of a key engineering hub for the business.
Right.
So this is
I,
kind of its true home.
Yeah, I like it. I'm only asking because we've got a couple of people on the call who are, have got very close ties to Singapore.
Yeah,
And obviously, we're trying to launch a school in Singapore at the moment. So
yeah,
I'm trying to find natural ties there for potential work experience and for opportunities for some of
yeah,
my kids in
nice.
the future. So it's a really nice bit now is just to sort of say, what have been the highlights in your career? So, for example, with Callum, he did this amazing theatre that was above a train station, which had to be all super good. Have you got something now that's, based in science, based in what you do, that's been the moment?
I've spent a lot of time working on HS2, which obviously has its challenges, but it was kind of an exciting and rewarding project because it was just such a vast scale. You've never seen infrastructure development quite like it.
And was you on a particular part of that?
So I was looking at how people would perceive the noise on the trains and how it would affect them. So we kind of assisting with lots of data, lots of reporting, and it's satisfying. I kind of made some scripts that would help automate part of that process.
Wow.
And seeing some of the work that you contributed then on the website for the general public to read is quite satisfying.
That's great. I really like that. In fact, we had a question last week from one of the listeners, a fabulous young trumpet player called Tessa, who was asking Tom about, is it, what happens with the gender equality in music? Because it looks so very male dominated. And I should imagine there might be the odd family out there that thinks, still thinks engineering is quite male dominated, just the word engineering. And we know it's massive now in the scope. Have you found that there've been any barriers to entry because of gender?
Absolutely no barriers. So I think it's such a topic that employers are obviously aware of, and universities as well, because there is that difference in terms of the gender split. But employers are encouraging of people of all backgrounds, all genders. And the fact it's kind of a topic that they will openly discuss, and if there are any problems that people find, they can openly raise them, and everyone's always kind of super open to that.
So you've had good experiences in the two big companies, Arup and Dyson.
Yeah, really good experiences. You're just really nice people to work with.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I mean, I like this bit now because this is my favourite memory for my time with yourself. So this is where anything can come on the floor and we're going, oh, no, what are we going to talk about? But I think I'll pass over to Stu if he's got a couple there. And then if you've got one, if you can remember anything good from the time, that'll be really nice. Over to you, Stu.
Well, like John mentioned earlier, Tansey, no one ever called her Naomi as well. She's always just been known as Tansey. Just for life. It's just one of those things. So I apologise if I just keep calling you Tansey. That's just what I've got it in my head. But Naomi used to play. See, it even feels weird saying Naomi now. She used to play
go with Tansey.
Tansey, saxophones and guitar in band. And one of my fondest memories was her playing the guitar solo in, I think, Jazz Police. We used to play quite a lot at the time. And I just remember Tansey standing up and just ripping this guitar solo apart. I mean, she was always one to have really good gear, really nice guitar. I can't remember what guitar it was you had at the time.
Big red one.
Ibanez, was it?
I can't remember.
And then like pedals, everything, and just absolutely tearing this guitar solo. And to see at the time, it was like a female guitarist, which wasn't very popular at that time. It wasn't a long time ago, but even then, it was just amazing to see. So I know we've done lots of cool gigs like up at Southport and all over really Nottingham and
Great
tours.
Big Band competition.
Great North Big Band competition.
And actually, for me, Tans, it was when you you broke your finger playing rugby.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You couldn't come on tour. We were doing a big international tour.
So, I know, literally, New York, playing Alto 1, broke my finger. What was I doing?
Yes, I don't know if you've got any. Have you got any memories that you feel like sharing?
I think a big one was, like I said earlier, the work experience being the first Hot House Gala. Gala concert in the summer. That was insane. You had the pyrotechnics, you had the inflatables, and going to the recording studio and recording this hothouse jingle that I wrote one evening. It was unbelievably cheesy, um, but, but really good fun. And just all the summer schools were really great.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's been fantastic to catch up. If kids are out there and they're interested in, going into a career in science and physics, particularly sound, what sort of pathways into it would you recommend? What do you think's been good for you that would work for them?
Yeah, so I'd say an acoustics degree is obviously the perfect idea, but there are so many different ways you can get into acoustics or looking at sound vibration. So either general engineering or physics. The Institute of Acoustics do a diploma that you can do. Even companies now are offering apprenticeships as well. So like Dyson have the Dyson Institute, so they will pay undergraduates to work for them 2 days a week, and then the rest of the time they get their degree paid for by Mr. James Dyson. So
that's good, isn't it?
You're winning.
And so apart from doing their traditional subjects of science and music, what other things do you think universities or employers are looking for from your perspective? Is it a broad diet, or do they need to be very niche and very super focused on acoustics? What do you think goes well with people?
I think it kind of depends what area you want to go into. I think like some people who go down an audio route, perhaps headphone design, like people who have gone to university at Salford or York to good kind of electronic engineering degrees and acoustics degrees, and they've gone on to work for Apple and crazy places like that. So many options. I think even if you discover acoustics later, go, oh, I wish I'd done that. There are so many different options for you to get into it.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. Well, I'm hoping that you don't mind. If there's anybody out there who would like to get in touch, they could send us a question and we'll forward to you, or maybe they can reach out to you on LinkedIn if that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Say a quick hello, because a lot of our kids are super on social media now and doing it really well. So nice. I would like to say on behalf of everybody at Hot House, thanks very much to the wonderful Ms. Tansey. We've had a great time. It's been really lovely to catch up. And I'm going to sign off now, everybody, and meet you in the next meeting room so we can catch up with alumnus Mr. Rob Spalton. Thanks again, Naomi. Have a super time down in the Cotswolds, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.